Let's go over the difference between the aerobic and anaerobic pathway within cellular respiration. First off, both of these processes are going to start off with a molecule known as glucose. Glucose has the molecular formula of C6H12O6. But typically, when we look at cellular respiration, we're only going to really focus on the carbons. Both aerobic and anaerobic respiration will go through this first step known as glycolysis. Glycolysis literally means glucose breaking. And just like it shows here, ATP is going to be produced. Now, if the cell doesn't have enough available oxygen, the next step in this process will be anaerobic respiration, because anaerobic means without oxygen. Specifically, this is also known as fermentation. Now, you might notice here we're not producing any more ATP, and we're also going to produce either alcohol or lactic acid. That's because anaerobic respiration only continues to allow glycolysis to keep on occurring. Without this anaerobic respiration and without oxygen, glycolysis would stop. After glycolysis, if there is enough oxygen, the process will go into aerobic respiration. After glycolysis breaks down glucose into 2-pyruvate molecules, they're going to enter the Krebs cycle and be changed into something called acetyl-CoA. These acetyl-CoA molecules will go through the Krebs cycle to produce ATP and carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is the CO2 that we breathe out. Products of glycolysis in the Krebs cycle will enter the electron transport chain. These molecules plus the addition of oxygen will allow us to make a lot of ATP. And our whole goal of cellular respiration is to break down carbohydrates and other organic molecules to produce ATP. Here's another quick way of looking at it. So glucose is going to enter our cells and go through glycolysis. Glycolysis breaks down glucose into 2-pyruvates. And this occurs in the cytosol or the cytoplasm of the cell. Now, pyruvate can go one of two ways. If there isn't enough oxygen in the cell, pyruvate will go through anaerobic respiration and produce either ethanol or lactic acid. However, if there is enough oxygen in the cell, pyruvate will enter the mitochondria and go through aerobic respiration. This is where the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle occurs, as well as the electron transport chain. Now, another main difference between these two processes is the amount of ATP that's going to be produced. There is a lot more ATP produced in aerobic respiration compared with anaerobic respiration. Because remember, the only thing that anaerobic respiration does is allow glycolysis to keep on occurring.